They called him the Prince. But he wasn't in a fairy tale. He was a real young man, full of life, strength, and dreams, until one day a brain injury changed everything. They said it was a car accident. His body survived, but his brain didn't. He slipped into a coma, silent, still, unreachable. Years passed. His heart beat. His lungs worked, but his brain never woke up. And as I watched his story, I couldn't help but wonder, how many of us are slowly walking toward that same silence, without even knowing it? Because the truth is, it's not only car accidents that cause brain injuries, it's not always the crash that breaks the body. Sometimes the real danger is quieter and closer. As seniors, we are at greater risk of brain damage than we think. Not because we live recklessly, but because we often live without caution. Let me tell you what the sleeping prince screamed to me in his silence. Brain injury doesn't always come with bleeding and ambulances. Sometimes it begins with skipping sleep again and again. You see, when we don't rest, the brain doesn't recover. It doesn't clear out waste. It doesn't store memories. The damage builds, day by day, hour by hour, until confusion, forgetfulness, and depression begin to creep in. I used to think 4 hours of sleep was enough. But then I forgot a name I should have remembered. I got lost in my own kitchen once, and I realized this is how it starts. It also starts when we ignore medical checkups. Some brain injuries happen inside, slowly, silently. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, strokes that whisper before they scream. A simple checkup could catch it. But many of us avoid hospitals, out of fear or pride, or I'm too busy. But let me be honest. There's nothing busier than a brain fighting for life. Now, I check in early. Not when things go wrong, but before they do. And then there's exercise. Or, should I say, the lack of it. You may not think your legs have anything to do with your brain, but every step you take pushes blood and oxygen upward. The less we move, the more the brain slows down. It needs circulation. It needs stimulation. A walk around the house, a little dancing, even gentle stretching. Movement is brain medicine, not just for the body, but for clarity, mood, and memory. Stress, anxiety, and isolation also damage the brain. Constant worry floods the mind with harmful chemicals. Being alone too long dries up the joy that keeps our neurons alive. We're not meant to sit in silence, staring at walls, waiting for the next illness. We're meant to connect, laugh, play, pray. That's what keeps the brain alive. I learned that the hard way. After my spouse passed, I locked myself in grief. I stopped calling friends. I stopped laughing. But the fog in my mind grew darker. Until I realized my healing was in connection. So no, brain injury is not always from trauma on the outside. Sometimes it's the slow neglect of what matters most. Sleep joy, early checkups, movement, peace of mind, lifelong curiosity. The sleeping prince may not have spoken, but his silence shook me awake. He reminded me that brain injuries don't always come in one loud moment. Sometimes they build over years of ignoring the signs. So I ask you, fellow senior, are you taking care of your brain? Are you sleeping enough? Are you moving your body? Are you seeing your doctor before the warning signs get louder? Are you laughing, connecting, doing puzzles, and feeding your mind? Because your brain is the command center of your life. And unlike your phone or TV, you can't replace it. You only get one. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving health advice. I'm just someone who saw what silence did to a young prince and chose not to wait until it happened to me. Let his silence be your wake-up call. Don't wait until your body is alive, but your brain is absent. Don't wait until you forget the faces of those you love. Don't wait until your memories vanish into silence. Today is your chance to protect what still works, to treasure what still thinks, laughs, remembers, and feels. Your brain is a miracle. Treat it like one.